citadel of impact started. And over 10,000 landed in ICT people had passed through us. And many of them are highly placed now that they are causing a turnaround all across the world. With the impact of SQI, we have part of our graduates that are working in highly placed ICT society. We have people working in Google, we have people working in nuigeria, we have people working in banks, and outside the country, they are there. Why am I saying all this? I'm just trying to lay a foundation for the purpose of this AI and Research Center. Every world, every country, every season has its defining moment. We have come to see that another defining moment has come to Africa, and Nigeria being at the fulcrum of the pivotal, we have to take responsibility for it and hijack it and show the world how it should be done. And this is what SQI, the gap that SQI is feeling at this point in time. I just have to take us back through a few histories of the world so that we understand what I'm saying. And we'll get prepared and appreciate the purpose of this gathering this morning. There was a time they call it the Stone Age. The Stone Age, the technology available there was the stone as the main raw material. At this time, people have to depend on stone to make, cuttings and then to do tables, to do whatever they want to do. By the time came, this age faded. Another technology came in with discovery of iron ore. People started making ammunitions. People started making guns. They started making matches. And this brought a kind of revolution, industrialization into the world. And those countries that hijack that technology then, they become what we call the world power of that time. There are so many inventions that came in. The locomotive, train, or we call it rail. All these things came at that time. And it was useful for them. But another time came that became the time of the atom. Because for some of us that have been to elementary science, we know we are starting the world from what they call matter. And what is matter? Anything that have what? Mass and can occupy space. Thank you. Thank you, my presenter. Now, immediately after matter, that was the time of the Stone Age. After matter came what they call element. What is element? We also have elements. When you first can say the first 20 or 100 elements and trans-uranium elements. Now, those are generations of technology. After elements came what they call atom. And they said the smallest particle of an element is not indivisible, all right? That can take part in chemical reaction. And after atom came the age that we have now. Remember, we have atomic bomb. It came at the time of atom. The age we have now, they were able to fragment atom into electron, proton, and neutron. Electron is just the opposite of neutron, of proton. Now, and that is what we are doing now. And that is what brought about electronics that we are talking about. It's a word derived from electron. And since electronics came, people started making gadgets. But our continent was still backward. And the people who had hijacked this technology, they were the ones who are making pace for us. We have to be following them. It is software they develop for us that will be wrong. It is code that they design that we will follow. It is gadget that they produce that we will buy. So we became followership in the world of technology because they have gotten there before us. And now, by the grace of God, the next thing that will cause a revolution in the world is what we are into today. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that the electronic world, as much as Africa has not been able to stamp their ground on it, is already fading. Another world is coming. Please help me to tell somebody around you. Tell them another word is coming.
A new word is coming.
It's a new word entirely. Another one. And I will still link that with the understanding of science or our basic chemistry. When we finish electronic configuration in your atomic orbital, the next thing you begin to talk about, when you have electrical, like I said this somewhere, electric configuration, let's pick sodium for example. It has 11 electrons and 1 electron at its outermost shell. Now, you want to write the electronic configuration for sodium. You begin to write something like 1s2. How many of us remember that thing? We call it jargon them, they are very useful. 2s2, 2p6, then 3s1. Now, the 3s1 is the electron, the one at the outermost, and we call it a name. We call it spin. Spin. Do you know that the world has come to a time that electron is fading, and the generations that can see, they are moving towards what we call spintronics. Can you pronounce that for somebody around you to hear? Spintronics. Spintronics. And spin. That is where the world is moving now. And that means if we still sit down with electronics, we will still be backward. This is why we must take our world by surprise. We are moving in a world of AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Deep learning is a season where machine will think like human being. Deep learning is a season where machine will do everything that human being can do. Deep learning is a season where men will be useless if they are not useful technologically. Because this time, machine will replicate in a jiffy everything that you can do in months. So if we are not prepared, that means Africa will still be backward again. This is our defining moment. This is our turning point for all of us to embrace technology. Let's not say we don't know what, and it's too expensive. We don't know how they are doing it. The Chinese we are seeing today, they started somewhere. The Japanese we are seeing today, they started somewhere. The German we are seeing today, they started somewhere. There is a revolution. Go and read history. There is a revolution for development. There was a time of the Mesopotamia. There was a time of Egypt. There was a time of the Babylonian. There was a time of the Grecian. There was a time of Romans. And there was a time of the Britain. And you cannot say who is the greatest in the world. Now I mention Britain again. Their time had gone. Something took them over. We are now in the world that what will make a difference in a nation, that will define their economy, that will define their well-being, that will define their prowess, that will define their army, is technology, which is what we have come here to do today. Artificial intelligence, robotic science, and robotic learning center that SQI has brought to Ibadan. This is first of its kind. Can we put our hands together for ourselves for being able to do this in a country where people are complaining? We've been able to bring the future to us. Say to somebody, robot has come. Many years ago, we were saying robot is coming. But now robot has what? Robot has come. Please, as I'm dropping the mic, let's pay attention to everything we are doing here today. Let's be ready to grasp all we need to grasp. Let's circulate this information very wide. Let's tell people that this is where the world is going. This is where other people are laboring on. They are going. Let's also take this technology abreast. And I want to say to us that in the nearest future, we will be glad we have done this for this nation. We'll be glad we have done this for Africa. Please, for anyone you know, pass the message across to them. Let them register in this center. If you have younger ones, if you have anyone that you feel they are technologically inclined, let's circulate this as we launch this program. We want to thank you once again for being part of this adventure. You are welcome. I believe your stay here will be memorable. Thank you, and God bless.
I think you can do better than that. I think you can do better than that. I think you can help me do better than that. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was an insightful one from Dr. Adegbunro Ajani, taking us through the thoughts about what we are here to do. What I heard him trying to do, or what I heard clearly, was him trying to take us through the industrial revolutions that we've had. We had the first industrial revolution, the second industrial revolution, the third industrial revolution, and what he just talked about is the one that we call the fourth industrial revolution, and it's ongoing. It's ongoing. And this is what refers to the transformation of traditional set of thinking, to something more advanced, whereby AI, robotics, Internet of Things will impact various aspects of the society and the economy. Guess what? If you walk into an office today and you find typewriter, what will you do? You see how they giggled. They were like, are you serious? Should that still be an element you find in an office, in a modern office? I mean, you find typewriter, the ASDF space colon LKJ. I don't know if you remember that. The ASDF space colon. I mean, the world has gone past that, and so that's what we're doing here, making you understand that the world is evolving. In Yoruba they say, so we don't want the world to leave us here. And I want to thank Mr. Denito and his team for changing the narrative about Ibadan. When they say Ibadan, people say, Ibadan. And I asked him on radio yesterday, I said, you mean robotics will be learned? I hope Daniel Adejumo is set for me. Daniel Adejumo will be taking us through the purpose and importance of this learning center. And so I want us to jam our hands together as I invite, I hope he's around here. Yes, let's put our hands together very quickly. Let's appreciate him as he's going to tell us the purpose and importance of this learning center. Daniel Adejumo, where are you? We are still clapping, young man. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. So I want to believe we are very excited to be witnessing this very, one-of-a-kind event. This is not something we see every day. So how many of us are happy to be here, to experience and to witness something like this? Good. So very quickly, I'm going to be briefing us about, what is the purpose of this center? What kind of problems are we trying to solve? What kind of broken tables are we trying to fix? So this center basically is a reflection of our commitment to hands-on learning in everything that we do at SQI and at the robotics department, and it can only get better year after year. I hope we are together. I hope you are together. Yeah. All right. So we are equipping this center. So I believe, I don't need to tell us again that this is the Center for Robotics Research and Artificial Intelligence. So we're equipping this center with every state-of-the-art equipment to make this place a center of excellence for robotics research and development in Nigeria. And that's something great, that's something unique, that's something that is so special. So this, what we are going to be seeing here today, this is something that we've embarked on for years, and what you're seeing today is the result of that journey. So beyond the niche of robotics, beyond the niche of artificial intelligence, we are also working towards making this place, we are working towards creating an enabling environment basically for core engineering in Nigeria. And I'm going to explain what I mean by an enabling environment for core engineering. So when we look at the engineering landscape in Nigeria, it can be quite discouraging. And we don't have to go far to see this. Now, if you go out on the street and you sample 10 engineering graduates, are you following me? You're going to hardly find 2 of them that are still actively practicing engineering today. How many of you have observed that? Am I the only one saying that? I need to be true about this, yeah. So we see that we don't see everyone who goes into the engineering career after leaving school going into the practice. In fact, most of them deviate into software engineering, yes or no? Yes. So that is basically what we see. Now, why is this happening? What is the problem? Now, if the environment where they are trying to practice engineering doesn't support the practice of engineering, then it doesn't make sense for them to practice engineering. So how can we fix this? How can we create an enabling environment for engineering in Nigeria? Are we together? So there are three major things that we have observed. Number one, we've observed the gap in the skills gap. Number two, we've observed the manufacturing environment gap. Number three, we've observed the funding gap. The skills gap, the manufacturing environment gap, and the funding gap. Three major things that we need to work on to start creating an enabling environment for engineering in general in Nigeria. So, give me a minute so that I'm able to show you exactly the things I intend here. So I mentioned three major gaps that we're working towards fixing: the skills gap, the manufacturing environment gap, and number three is the funding gap. So if you look at our engineering training, it's not totally thorough. Engineering training in Nigerian institutions in general, it's not totally thorough. That beautiful connection between the abstractions, the theories, and the real-world applications is quite shallow. So it makes it difficult for people that graduates of engineering programs in Nigeria to have the skills that they need to actually go into the real world and practice engineering. But we have so many people that have gone beyond this limit to acquire the missing skills beyond the confines of the university. But then when these people get into the real world, they face another challenge, another hurdle. And that is, how do they bring their designs to life? How do they bring those things that they have designed, that they have thought of, that they have imagined? How do they bring those things to life? And that is the hurdle with manufacturing. At the end of the day, most of these people have to take their designs and send it out for manufacturing, send it abroad for manufacturing. And that's something that comes with a lot of challenges, a lot of limitations on its own. So we noticed that by creating or by bridging that gap for manufacturing in Nigeria, we are able to create a major leap forward in the engineering experience in Nigeria. And bridging that gap is exactly what we are doing here at SQI. Is someone excited about that? So we are equipping this facility with every state-of-the-art equipment. We are working towards fixing this facility with every state-of-the-art equipment for rapid prototyping. Starting from equipment for additive manufacturing, FDM printers, SLA printers, equipment for CNC machining, CNC routers, CNC mills, etc., PCB making machines, thermoforming equipment, injection molding equipment. Talk about them. We are equipping this facility with all of those equipment to make the engineering experience exciting for people that make the engineering graduates that we are producing. So when this gap is bridged, we are able to make the best use of our talents locally in Nigeria. We're able to bring those ideas that are lying dormant in the minds of many creative people. We are able to bring it to life, and we're able to make the engineering career, make the engineering practice more interesting to graduates of engineering in Nigeria. Is someone excited about that? All right. So for the rapid prototyping is just one step forward. Now, rapid prototyping is all about how do you create an experimental, a functional prototype of your design. You've designed something, but there's no 100% guarantee that it's going to work at first. So you make one of them, and then you test it. Does it work? Does it not work? If it works, fine. If it doesn't work as much as you want, you have to reiterate. So that's what rapid prototyping is all about. But then rapid prototyping is not everything that you need to, build a business around engineering. You need to be able to manufacture in mass. You need to be able to make 10,000 units of your product, 100,000 units per year. So how do we make that possible beyond rapid prototyping? So we are working towards equipping this place not just with the equipment for rapid prototyping, but the equipment that will make it possible to also engage in mass production for people that are making products. So that at the end of the day, they are able to make products that are able to go into the market. So those are two major things I've pointed out. sorry if my speech is kind of extemporaneous. There's one last thing that I need us to see that we are working towards. We are not just creating an environment to bridge that gap for manufacturing. We are not just making it possible to engage in mass production at some point in time, which we'll be doing. Now, if you think about it, now when all this equipment are here, all these facilities are here, how many people really know what to make? Okay, so many people are excited about making things, but then I mentioned 3 things that are missing earlier. Can we remind me? 3 major things that are missing. The first one, skills, the skills gap. Number 2, the manufacturing environment. So now if we bridge the manufacturing environment, but the skills is not there, what will people make? Are we getting me? So it's not just that we are interested in bridging that gap for manufacturing, we're also interested in helping everyone who is interested in being a creator, who is interested in being a maker, acquire those skills that are necessary for them to make. And we see that as very, very important, because the other time I mentioned how that that bridging between abstractions, the theoretical things, and the real-world applications is absent in many of our formal education. So by not just creating the environment, but by helping every creator, every maker who is interested in building something, acquire the skills that they need, we have been able to bridge 2 major gaps by setting up the center. Is that great news? So, that's a brief summary of what the center is about and what you're going to be witnessing in the few months to come. And I hope that every single person present here, it doesn't really matter whether you are an engineer, you're a maker, whether you fabricate or not. It's something that to change the engineering experience in Nigeria is going to be a collective effort. All right. At times you wake up one day and then you see someone on Twitter says, I don't know, it's Nigeria that they make amala, but then you see a Chinese person making the equipment for making amala. But then what they fail to realize is not just a responsibility on the engineers to make things happen, to make things work. The policy makers are there. The business environment is there. Okay? If I need $10 million to make a project work, I can't just use my skills and convert it to the physical product. The funding needs to follow it. The policies that need to make it possible needs to follow it. So this is a collective effort, and that is what I'm, the call I'm making to every one of us, that in our little ways, in our little efforts, in our little encouragement, if that's the best you can do, we can make Nigeria a better place. So thank you so much for listening.
Okay, you see, when we go for occasions like this, people are usually stingy with clapping. Please be generous. Please be generous. Please be generous. Thank you. Thank you. You're not paying for it, so just be generous with clapping. I appreciate him so much, what he just did, taking us through what this center is about. And you see, I was talking to Dr. Adenito yesterday on radio, and I was telling him that, can you speak to parents about this center? And I was wondering, why did he need to speak to parents? And I said, some parents missed out in the era of football. Imagine if your son is a footballer and is in Europe right now. Imagine what he'll be bringing in for you. When I was growing up in this city, when you close in school and you're playing football, your father will beat you like an animal. I want you to be a medical doctor. I want you to be an engineer. Don't waste your life playing football. I want my life burn. I'm a But is it true that I want my life burn? So, and that's why I told him, I said, if parents missed out that era, they should not miss out this one, because this is the future. And he was telling me about the alumnus or alumni of SQI who are working with Google. Now, I am to work with Google, who are working with fintech organizations, who are working at the Silicon Valley in the United States, with brands in the United Kingdom, banks. So as a parent, I'm thinking how my 13-year-old and 9-year-old will start doing robotics. Robotics in Yamipe, So, yes, so that tomorrow we'll be cashing out from such things. I hope my intentions are right. I don't want to miss out in the future. All right, so We welcome you once again and thank you for joining us right here. We want to appreciate you for coming. Please, I want to begin to introduce some people in our midst right now. We're still waiting for one other invited guest who will be here very soon. But in the meantime, he's also here, Mr. Wale Adedokun. Thank you so much for coming, sir. You see, if a theological seminary is thinking ICT, they are not just holding Bibles. They're not thinking ICT. You see, if your pastor comes to the podium with his phone, don't look at him as an unbeliever, because everything he needs is there. I was having a chat with a gentleman, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday, and we were talking about the Bible, and I said, if I'm looking for a scripture verse, if I hold my physical Bible, it might be difficult to find it. Just type it in the search engine. It will pop up. You don't need to be lazy about it. You don't need to stress and be sweating. I'm looking for Genesis. No. Type the keywords there. It will bring it out for you. That's what technology can do. And so our people need to understand technology. So I'm happy that your school is harnessing technology. Bible. It might be difficult to find it. Just type it in the search engine. It will pop up. You don't need to be lazy about it. You don't need to stress and be sweating. I'm looking for Genesis. No. Type the keywords there. It will bring it out for you. That's what technology can do. And so our people need to understand technology. So I'm happy that your school is harnessing technology. So thank you for doing that. And I'm told that the CEO, Delex Communication, and his team is here. I'm also obligated to thank this organization profusely for how much they have helped, what they have contributed and done. So let's welcome Dele Abu, and we're thanking you and appreciating you for everything you have done, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for your help. The pioneer rector of SQI College of ICT is also in our midst. Shall we make welcome very warmly and very well Engineer Frederick Aderito. Thank you so much for coming, sir. I can't hear you clap. Thank you so much, sir, and most welcome. I'm also delighted to welcome in our midst right here Engineer Olanyinka Aremu and Chief Mrs. Runke Aremu. Sir, ma, thank you for coming. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for coming here. And we also want to make welcome the rector of SQI College of ICT, Dr. Adegbero Sunday Ajani. Thank you, sir. You the students, you are not clapping, eh? Okay. Make nothing happen to your project. You are not clapping. Okay. And the acting registrar, SQI College of ICT, I want us to warmly and profusely welcome Mrs. Grace Aderito. Please, a lot of applause for Mrs. Aderito. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm also glad to welcome right here. You see, every time I engage him on radio, I wonder the vastness of his thinking. And I'm not surprised now. He surrounded himself with very young people. If you tap in from the minds of these young people, I don't know how he keeps up with their world. Their world is strange to me. The kind of thing that these young people think, how wild, how vast they think, how fast. Imagine my daughter asking me, she's just 9. She asked me yesterday morning, around 6:30 a.m., we were preparing for school. And she said, people that are blind, why do they wear dark glasses? When she asked the question the first time, I pretended as if I did not hear. Because I heard, but I didn't know. How do I answer? I am not blind. I don't know why they wear the glasses that they wear. And she was asking me. So I don't know how you cope with these guys, because the way they think is faster. And the magnitude of their thinking is very huge. So let's welcome the CEO, SQI College of ICT, our own Dr. Adeyemi C. Aderito. That's the man. I want a round of applause, please. A round of applause for him. Yes, a resounding applause for him. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the gentleman who is changing the narrative about Ibadan. So people will not be saying, Mr. Kela, I'm coming to Ibadan to come and eat Amala. No, not only Amala will they do for Ibadan. No. Amala is not just, it's not the only thing we do in Ibadan. So people should not be thinking that whenever they are craving for Amala, they will come to Ibadan. If you want to learn robotics, come to Ibadan. Yes. Ibadan is the center right now. So thank you very much, sir, for changing that narrative about our city, Ibadan. Once again, I want to welcome you. I'm also told that the representative of the Honorable Commissioner for Education is here. I want us to specially welcome the Special Advisor to the Governor on Education Intervention. Is in our midst. Please let's make welcome Oloye Suraj Tiamil. Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you. That tells you that the government seat is here now. So the Commissioner for Education is already in our midst. And I hope, I was also very excited yesterday when Dr. Derrida told me that one can apply to be in this center through JAM. That you can apply through JAM. I mean, that's wonderful. That's novel. And you see, children should not be, parents, don't say that your child must be a doctor, a lawyer. Do you know how much they pay a lawyer right now? Okay. I don't want to be a lawyer again. I used to think that I want to be a lawyer, but no. And I asked him also that, can I come and learn? And he said, I can. I'm coming. Yes, now, I'm coming. I will come and learn. All right, so we're going to see a lot of things today. And I want to welcome the Deputy Director of Maths and Technical at the Ministry of Education. And let's welcome Mrs. O.I. Obanishola. Thank you, ma'am. I hope I got it right. Thank you, ma'am. But I had to put Ami on it. Thank you very much. And also on the entourage of the Commissioner for Education is the Media Officer to the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. We welcome Alhaji I.A. Fasasi. Thank you, sir, for coming. Many thanks to you. Right. We'll still try to welcome more people. But the last set of people that will welcome I was jealous when I saw them walking in. They were wearing some jacket like that, I was really jealous of them. I hope that when I enroll, they will give me my own jacket, and I saw something behind at the back there, the thing that I spoke about on radio for weeks, e-dossier. If you don't know about it, you are missing out. If you are a school owner, you have a business, you have payroll, there are so many things you can do with automation. And that you can, I mean, when it says that you can be in charge, even when you are far away from your location, you can be in charge of your payroll, of your staff, the management of their data and everything, and that you can provide solution even wherever you are. That's an innovation from SQI. Please put your hands together once again for SQI. All right, so I said I want to welcome some people. Those of you who are wearing that jacket, please rise up. I want to welcome you very specially. Please put your hands together for those who make SQI, make it warm. Please, a round of applause for these are the future. These are the future. Yes. Thank you very much. Once again, all of you, you are welcome at this time. So, we're moving on, but I'm told that we will have a tour of this place. But I think we have to wait for the commissioner to be here, but I don't know whether we have one or two things coming as a goodwill message, maybe one or two goodwill messages from those who are around here. Maybe we can hear from my brother from the Theological Seminary, if you have a goodwill message for us. Yes, sir. Please. Sir? Okay, all right, later then. Yes, can I come to you? I just want you to say something about this SQI. What fascinates you about SQI?
Can I come on? I want to stand on the existing protocol. I welcome us all, and I want to appreciate God for this wonderful opportunity. It's really amazing to be here. And I must confess, right from the time, the inception, when my brother started, I knew then that it's going to soar higher. And today we are seeing it. When we say what we are seeing today, honestly, I'm not expecting less. You see, I want to say God has brought him among us in this our generation to add values to us. Because what? You will see that as each year unfolds, we have a lot of graduates, we have a lot of people who are educated looking for jobs. But because in those days, the only thing we learned then were just basic, maybe basic things in computer, how to type, Microsoft Word, and you know what I'm talking about. But today, we can see somebody among us who would now say, I want to go beyond this. I want to go beyond this so that I will increase the level, the tempo at which these skills is being, given to others. Looking at the computer training that we used to know, you will go, they will say, okay, go and learn computer. And by the time you finish computer, after you have learned CorelDRAW, learn this, you'll still be looking for a job. You'll still be looking for a job. But he's been able to bring out different sections of computer where you will be useful to anywhere in the whole world. When we talk about this AI stuff, we are talking about just the system, the way you can just use computer system to just, perform a duty. A duty. For example, I remember years ago, sorry, I want to quickly say this. I helped one of my lecturers. He was my lecturer, but I was helping him to to do a project. He was trying to do his PhD then, and there was one project he wanted to actually embark on. He's a mechanical, and I was in electrical. But you know what? He wanted to design the machine that they will use in washing pockets. When you want to service, it requires a machine that will be producing a very hot water, and another one that will be washing those pockets in different stages. But when I saw, immediately I come in here, that thought came to my heart. That so I didn't mean robotic, I didn't mean we have this idea then. We would have introduced this idea into his project, whereas it will just be manipulated by computer. Just touch, the machine will do its own, the machine will carry this, the machine will release water, and the temperature of water at 100 degrees above, it will be so difficult for anyone to toy with it. But machine, since you are using robotic, you will have used a machinery equipment that could withstand it. And you will command, it's just a matter of commanding it, and it will be responding. Some of the things we do today, like for example, some of the things we do today that we just be just in our room, and we control our house from the room. You control your house from the room. You check when there is electricity, you have a message. You have light already. You forgot to put off your AC. From where you are sitting, you put your AC off. These are the things we are talking about. And for this young man to now come out and begin to develop people. See, mind you, for those who will be coming and for those who are here, I want to say to you that it may not teach you all, but when you have the basic knowledge of how to go about it, honestly, sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. For you to have that basic idea is just for you to begin to build on them, to begin to see how you can use them, how to apply them. And I'm telling you, you too, you will join the trade, the moving trade of technology in transforming Nigeria as a whole. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you, everyone, and I appreciate you. God bless you.
Don't be stingy with your clapping, Abel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir, for that. I mean, taking us back to see why we need to, harness the future right now without wasting any time. All right, so we'll take another speech while we take that speech, maybe very soon we'll be taking a tour. He has told me yesterday that we will see the equipment, we will see the things that have been done, particularly I'm looking forward to see the 3D printing or some of their projects and the work they've done. I'm looking forward to seeing those things. I mean, it looks like a magic to me. I'm looking forward to seeing them today. But we want to hear from the Ministry of Education. The Commissioner for Education has been ably represented in our midst. So let's make welcome the speech by the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Salihu Abdulwahid Adelabu, who is ably represented by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Education Intervention, Oloye Suraj Tiami. Welcome, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's good morning, actually. Good morning, everyone. As I said, my name is Oloye Suraj Tiami. I'm the Special Advisor to Governor on Education Intervention. And I have a long speech here. I don't know if you permit me to read this long speech. It's from the Commissioner. So please listen. It's long, but please take your time and listen. Okay, so this is, as I said, this is Commissioner's speech. So he said, I'm highly delighted for the honor bestowed on me to be invited to give a keynote address at the grand opening of the SQI AI and Robotic Research and Training Center here in Ibadan, with titled Anticipated Impact of the Research Center on Nation's Continent. Firstly, I want to appreciate the organizer of this program, SQI, for his excellence in training and developing the skills of talent in various high-demand tech fields, including software engineering, data science, cybersecurity, procure design, and many more than a decade. So research, as well as we all know, is one of the tools to identify or examine certain aspects of concept, workmanship for better productivity. Every area of work life that is moving on and not productive enough require a true findings. Research starts with setting of hypotheses, observation, findings, and finally drawn at conclusion and passing recommendation based on its finding. Research work can be made more relevant to the needs of society when all bodies rally around together to dig down the cause of inefficiency of our technology and come out with a preferred solution. Universities and institutions or learning, as well as we all know, have been entrusted with all research work, but they are directly assist experts advisory groups such as the Agricultural Research Group, the Advisory Councils of Education, the National Science Technology Development Agency, NISA, but their efforts in this direction has not been achieved, the desired success for the following reasons. So inadequate of resources and facilities such as space, funds, equipment, and personnel. Number two, heavy undergraduate teaching loads arising partly from paucity of postgraduate students to assist in the teaching function. Number three, the shortage of postgraduate students engaging in research as an essential part of their work. Number four, external commitments of university teaching staff in full-time service on government boards. Number four now, poor motivation, absence of stimulating research, contracts from industries and from government. Number five, lack of productivity orientations in most industries in Nigeria. Most are merely marketing their services skills good, so this especially in technology fields. So number six, lack of deliberate involvement of the university by government in respect of the executing the national development project. Number 7, research and training is an inevitable truth if rapid development is required for effective enhancing of our society. So distinguished guests, in service training, program, vocational and technology education are part of transformation's agenda of the present administrations in our dear state. Therefore, in an attempt to provide solutions to the itemized problem, I would like to reiterate that the state government, under the leadership of His Excellency Engineer Oluwaseyi Makinde, in its focus to promote quantitative and qualitative education for our children, gives adequate room for research in education through the planning, research, statistics department in the Ministry of Education. So furthermore, the government makes provisions of sufficient fund to all Oyo State-owned university and polytechnics for them to intensify their efforts and to facilitate better coordinations of research activities. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is being encouraged to fund some of the research activity of university and the research agencies in the state and those established by the federal government. So presently, the state government is liaising with non-governmental organizations like this organization, who are now partnering with the state in research, particularly in the area of science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Among such non-organizations that iTech, Centers for Nigerian Women and Youth, American Chemical Society, Digitalizations Foundation, DG Innovations, K-Brand Technology Concept, to mention but few. So in addition, the state government is making links between commerce, industry, and the statutory corporations and the university to further strengthen them so as to enhance the relevance of the research agencies to the needs of the society. So at this junction, I want to appreciate SQI College of ICT Limited for setting up a research center of this type at the time Nigeria is in dire need of advanced technical know and how to rapid development and betterment of economic situations of our dear state and Nigeria as a whole. And I hereby enjoy orders to borrow a leaf from this timing creativity of SQI. Government required the support of all stakeholders to achieve its laudable objective for the education sector in the state. So the government has extended hands of partnership to their stakeholders in the education sector. So they should be ready to contribute their quota to the state in order to move it forward. Thank you so much and God bless you. Just before I go, this is my one. It's a very small one, and I'll call it invest in yourself. And I'm going to share my experience with the youth that are here today. Well, I'll quickly share part of my life with everyone here today. Well, I traveled to London some years back, I would say about 20 years ago. And when I got to London, I started working as a security guard. So I worked for a company. As a security guard, I will be the one to open the company every morning, and I will stay till everyone leaves the company and lock the office up. The next day, I'll do the same for 5 days. Then I started studying, I started looking around the people working in the office. They are young boys. They are young ones. How come I'm the one security working, be the first one to get to the office and be the last one to leave? I need to invest in myself. So I started taking some courses. I started from a data analyst course. I studied in London for, I think it was a 6-month course. Since it was a 6-month course, I was taking that course for 6 months while I was working as a security guard. Then I built a CV. I started applying for different jobs. Unfortunately, I got a job. After maybe about 8 months, I got a job. Then I moved to a data analyst. I started working as a junior data analyst. My responsibility then, sorry, sir, I'm just going to, just 5 minutes. I'm saying this to encourage the youth, try and invest in yourself. Then when I was working as a security guard, I was earning £2,000 a month. Then I started working as data analyst, and I was earning £300 a day when I started working as data analyst. So I will analyze data, I will extract data from different sources using Excel, SQL, then I'll do presentation to senior managers. Then I move from there. Then I started, meeting different people. They are earning £500. What are you doing? They said business analyst. Then I moved to business analyst. Then I started taking courses in business analyst again. I think I paid about £1,000 or £2,000 then for business analyst. Then I started applying for business analyst again. And I was offered a role, £500 a day as business analyst. So why I'm saying this to our youth, to encourage, invest in yourself. Don't look at the amount, don't look at the time that it will take you to get there. Invest in yourself, do your reading. If you had to take any courses online, there are free courses online. There are courses from SQI that you can take. If you do that, you will invest yourself and you make progress in life. I will stop by saying, I now move to another project that paid me £700 a day. So imagine £2,000 a month to £700 a day. So don't stop, keep going, keep moving, and God bless you all. Thank you so much.
You the hear pounds, you know they clap. Please clap. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was an amazing speech. Amazing speech as if there from the Honorable Commissioner for Education, and delivered aptly and without any reservation from the Special Advisor to the Governor on Education Intervention, Oloye Suraj Tiami. Thank you very much for those great words. We appreciate you, sir. I hope you have not finished spending the pounds. Not finished spending them. I want to come and collect. All right, thank you. While he was giving the speech, we got an august visitor in our midst. She is just one person we've been also waiting for a little bit before we take the tour. We really didn't want to take the tour behind her. And so I'd like to inform you that we have the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports in our midst. Before you start clapping, there's something about the Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Oluseyi Makinde, that I really appreciate. He has eyes for the young people. He has a heart for the next gen. And so we'd like to welcome the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports in our midst. She's right here, Honorable Wasilat Adegoke Adefemi. Ma'am, you are most welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much for coming, madam. Thank you so much for being here. She's here right now, so we have the two commissioners we have been expecting. They are already in our midst now. Please put your hands together for the two honorable commissioners who deemed it fit to be in our midst. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for making time out of your very busy schedule to join us here at this time. So we will be taking the tour. The tour right now, we'll be taking the tour as the man in the eye of the celebration, not storm, is in the eye of the celebration. Will be leading us in this tour. Dr. Aderito will be leading us. He'll be showing us around, what we need to see, what we need to know. And I'd like you to take notes, of the things you're going to see today. You're going to see innovation. You're going to see the fourth revolution in practice. You're going to see that in Ibadan here, students here have begun to walk around robotics and bringing it out. They're doing things that you probably be thinking that were done in China, in Britain before now, but now it's right here in Ibadan. So gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being here. Shall we rise as we take the lead and follow Dr. Aderito as he leads us to on the tour. It will lead while the honorable commissioners will follow him, and they will tell us how we're going to go about the tour.
Thank you so much, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be with us this morning, and standing on the existing protocol, I must still recognize the presence of some people, some dignitaries among us today. My name is Adeyemi C. Adenrito, the founder of SQI ICT Consultant, and I want to welcome every one of us once again for being here. I acknowledge the presence of Engineer and Chief Mrs. Aremu. Thank you so much for making our time to be here today. I acknowledge the presence of the CEO of Matronics. Thank you for all you've been doing within the nation. Thank you for saving us from so many other importations. I acknowledge the presence of the pioneer rector of SQI College of ICT. Your contribution to this institution can never be forgotten. I acknowledge the presence of the current rector of SQI College of ICT, Dr. Adegbero Ajani. Thank you for your leadership so far, all the way from Nigerian Baptist Theological Seminary, Mr. Wale Adedokon. You're welcome, sir. God bless you, sir. I acknowledge the presence, most especially of, he called me a brother when he was speaking, but I don't think I fall within that range of being a brother. For me, I will call him a father. That's Engineer Dele Abu, CEO, Dilex Technology. Thank you for your embrace all this while. Thank you so much. I want to acknowledge especially the presence of the commissioners among us today. We are not doing this alone. We are not doing it alone. And I'm going to tell you why I am saying this. The presence of the Commissioner of Youth and Sports. You're welcome, ma. Thank you so much, ma. The representative of the Commissioner of Ministry of Education, Mike Correct. You're welcome, sir. God bless you, sir. And thank you for that wonderful speech, for that transformation. I hope so many people will be transformed here today before we leave. Thank you so much, every special guests that are here with us today. I want to let you know that we appreciate your presence. As we continue to go on, we will continue to take note of everyone that is joining us today. Before we proceed on the tour, I would like to share a memory with us. It was in 2008 when should I call it, holy anger was so much about why things are like this. Why are we like this? It's so embarrassing that anything that has to do with technology, you don't even expect it to come from Africa. Not Nigeria, just Africa. And we are known with this even outside the continent. When you meet a white man and you mention that I am from Nigeria, the next thing they think of is the kangaroos in Nigeria, the elephants in Nigeria, how are they? The horse they see in CNN. So embarrassing. And when you come to Nigeria as well, you realize that we are not the only, the whites are not the only person that felt we cannot do this, cannot be part of this. But also, even ourselves felt we can't be part of this. I think on radio yesterday, I mentioned something to Mr. Shewan Akinola, that there is this word, I know so many of us must have heard it before, or even have used it before. Whenever we see any great thing in technology, the next word we use is that Aje Oyinbo lo se, and that means that it's out of human ability, okay? And immediately that word is used, it looks as if it's beyond our reach. It's so embarrassing those times. But we thought, what can we do? So in 2008, we established two arms of the organization. We established the solution arm to provide this solution, to show that it's possible. And then we established this training arm that is named today SQI College of ICT, to build so many people as well to be able to do the same. When we arrived that time, we were almost like alone. Everywhere we go to, there were no much interest in it. I remember we went to university school students and we were telling them, do you know anything about IT? And the response was that, oh, I am not in 400 level. It is only those that are in 400 level that goes for IT. That's the best they can imagine. Then I realized that we were too early, too early. We almost returned back, you know, all those times. When we went to organization to tell them about some automation, this automation is possible, as of 2008. The response was, what we are doing is working. We don't need this automation. And there was the fear at that time that if we continue to allow everything to happen over there, very soon we will have no more jobs here for anybody to do. No more job for everyone here. As at that time, email was already disappearing. And people did not know, sorry, not email. Postage services were already disappearing. And people were not paying attention. If that disappears, it means a lot of job disappears with it. It was transforming and becoming email services. Today, when last did we send a letter? You sent a letter, you bought postal stamp, you put it to send the letter, and you went to your box to open it with a lock, to get it. When last? It's not happening again. So the question is, those who are working in that industry at that time, where are they today? In 2014, someone said something that encouraged me a little that we are not alone. His name is Inyaboyeje. This is a man that has established 2 unicorns in Nigeria so far, 2 unicorns. Unicorn means a company that's worth $1 billion right here in Nigeria, and they are technological companies. He said that he came to Nigeria in 2014 from Canada to introduce the popular things that we know as Coursera today. Coursera, Udemy, you know, for online learning. And he said he waited for months to introduce it to, I think, a commissioner in the States. He wasn't as lucky as SQI today. He couldn't get the attention. He couldn't, as at that time, he couldn't. So we were not alone then. So many people that were in technology were so much alone as at that time. But I am so grateful that today the story has changed. Because right here, we are not only here, we have people in the government also excited to be part of what we are doing today. So once again, we thank everyone that are here with us today. So the next thing we are going to be doing is going around to look at the equipment and what they can do, what is possible now in Ibadan. What is possible with the kind of equipment that we have. After that time, we'll come back and give our reflections. Just like the moderator of the program has mentioned, we want you to please take notes as we go around. We want the extreme question possible from you. Do not restrict your imagination. Please, let's bring up those questions. Together, let's make the states, the nation, the continent great. Thank you so much. So I will be inviting the head of robotics department at SQI College of ICT by the name Daniel Adejumo. Daniel Adejumo. If you are near, you may want to come closer as we begin the tour. Daniel Adejumo, if you are near, I want you to come closer as we begin the tour. So right now, I am going to be handing the microphone back to Mr. Sheon Akinola. Is Mr. Sheon Akinola with us still?
Together, and I appreciate the Commissioner for Education Yes, I know his representative is here. So we will move to the place as the director will lead us, and then we will unveil before we do the tour, and then we'll launch it. So ladies and gentlemen, let's just be ready now as we move to the launch of the training center, shall we?
So delighted to be here this morning, and I want to especially thank our lovely brother for bringing this together, for bringing our youth together. I pray this will not be the last for you, inshallah. So we'll fill this SQI center today in the name of Almighty Allah, as we continue and continue, inshallah.
Please, you know I said we should not be stingy with clapping. Let's make a resounding applause. And so the center is now open to the glory of God and to the use of humanity. Shall we all walk in there? Honorable Commissioner, ma'am, can you lead us as we just take, yes, please just take it, yeah, can read it up for the dignitaries. Please just let's walk in there. And here we are. I'm sure we can see different screens here. All Commissioner, can you see the screen there? You can approach the Commissioner, the screen there.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. The Honorable Commissioners, we are happy to have you here today. And within a short period, I am going to be taking you around all the various equipment that are here today and their abilities, together with Daniel Adejumo. The technical part will be explained more by Daniel Adejumo. Now, before we proceed, I would like to just mention something to help us have a feel of what is possible. So I'm going to begin this way. When we talk about robotics, I will want to let us know or see it as a human. Very good. People always see it as human whenever we say robot. In fact, we expect it to be walking on 2 feet. I don't know if we are surprised when Google says, confirm you are not a robot. When you're trying to sign in and it says, confirm you are not a robot. At that time, Google is not referring to a robot walking on 2 legs, because you can have softwares as a robot as well, to be in the computer and it can work on your behalf without you seeing it. But basically, when we talk about robots, I want you to see it as humans still, and the same way we believe humans is made up as spirit, soul, and body, so are robots. They have something that represents the spirit, the soul, and the body. But in robots, the spirit, we will refer to it as the software. That's the software part. We don't see spirits. I want to believe we don't see softwares too. We only see what softwares can do. Yes, and someone can bring a flash drive and say, there is a powerful software in this flash drive. If you ask the person, where is software? You can't see the software, but it's there. It's the same thing with the spirit. The same way that we have the body where we can see our eyes, our nose, ears, and all the stuff, so is robotics. Every part of it that we can see, that's the hardware part. Then we have the soul, which is, we call the firmware, that is like the electronic part of the robotics, that holds the spirit and keep it in the body. So the 3 aspects makes up robots, anywhere we see it. So for instance, anything we see in our home that can communicate digitally is a robot. Our phone is a robot. It has a spirit, which we call Android or Apple. It has the body, which we can call Samsung or Apple. So Samsung is making the body, Google is making the spirit, Android. So they get the spirit from Google, put it inside the body. Then there is an electronic part. inside those phones. You can refer to that as the soul of the whole machine. That explanation is the same thing with this screen right here. It has the body, the hardware, the firmware, and the software. The same thing with this. The body, hardware, and software. Your remote also. The microphone at the studio.
Yes.
The engine we use in mixing. The cars we make today. I hope all of us know that Elon Musk is already telling us that when you buy cars, you will have to be paying for subscription. Hope we know. To download updates for your cars. That means even when you buy the hardware, you only buy the hardware. You still have to subscribe to the software. And with the software, Elon Musk can say if you don't pay subscription, he can be tuning down your brakes small. Through the software, because the software controls the hardware. So for that three major parts, to be able to make any sort of digital device or robot, we have the ability to make the three major parts right here at the lab. And that's where we are starting from here now. This, at this point, is where we have the AI lab, the AI, where we have the programming section going. Can I see something like coding? Do we have something like that open? We have the programming section at this place. So this is where it will be learned how to create the AI part, the intelligence, the software in the robot. And anything that has to do with simulation as well will be done from this part. Yes, when I talk about simulation right now, I'm not talking about simulation of the hardware, but things like machine learning. Yes, making the machine to be able to learn by itself as well. So I am just going to allow Daniel Adejumo to say something more about the AI part of the system. Okay, you can go ahead. All right.
All right, so just like he has said earlier, you can think of a robot as being made up of at least three things: the software, you see the electronics hardware, and you also see the mechanical hardware. So right here, you are trying to see what does the software look like in robots systems. So now, basically, when you see a robot, you're expecting them to behave like in some kind of intelligent ways. So take, for example, the Tesla vehicle. We can also see it as an example of a robot. In fact, Elon Musk claims he has the biggest robotic company on planet Earth, and that's because he's building vehicles that have autopilot functions. So now let's take that, for example, how do the software that make those vehicle to reason intelligently, just like humans do? How do we come about them? So it's basically something that we all know about is artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. That's the backbone behind the reasoning or the intelligence behind all of these machines. So what I'm going to be doing now is to show you an example. I'm going to come back to this demonstration you can see here. So let's go back to the issue of the vehicle or to the car. All right, so now you see a self-driving vehicle on the road, and then you imagine how does it know when another vehicle is coming? How does it know a human? How does it differentiate a tree from a building, from a human, from a bicycle, and all of that? So what I'm going to be showing you now is something we call image segmentation, technically. So this is an example of a scene on a road, right? Now, a car sees this. How does it differentiate this guy from the vehicle and identify them? So it's able to look at this image and identify every single pixel on this as either human, okay? And identify them as either human, a vehicle, and so on and so forth. This is out of internet. Okay, hold on, please.
Okay, so maybe I'm just going to summarize this section. Yes, I'm just summarizing this section so that we can move on to other section right now. So it has said everything that requires for the machine to be able to learn, understand, and behave like human, the spirit in it, that's what we learn right here. So most of the time what they do here is programming. Yes, coding and making those things happen. So I am taking us to the next part. The next part, we can all come around here. Okay. So, okay, okay, ma'am, please feel comfortable. We can all have a seat. Well, for the next 3 minutes for this other part, I want Daniel to be here now. All right, so this is where we have spoken about the software part there. But what about the hardware? How do we make this happen? Something like this, how do we make it look like this? When you see a self-driving car, that body of the self-driving car, how do we bring it to life that way? It is started from here. So this is the place where we have the computer-aided designs, where students will learn how to design each of those components one after the other. Now, they don't only learn how to design it in the computer here. They also learn how to assemble it as well in the computer. Then after that, they step further to learn how to simulate. That is, let's make it work in the computer first, because hardware can be expensive. Yes. Let's make it work in the computer first. Because if you try to make it work in real life before simulating in the computer, and you realize that maybe a little component will stop the whole system from working, it will cost a lot of time and money to redo it all over again. Sometimes when, those times when Elon Musk is testing his missiles, and the missile will just go up and blow up at the middle of the way. Missile worth about $200 million. When cameras are going about, I try to look at his expression, but I think he finds a way of hiding it. That's just $200 million gone. And then they are going to start all over again. I just hope we have such kind of grit here, because that's just how to make greatness in these things. So right here, the design, the assembly, and the simulation are done here before we now proceed to bring it to life. We are seeing it on the screen now. Then we proceed to bringing it to life. Is there a few things you'd like to say about this?
All right, so everything he has been talking about is, we'll call it computer-aided design. So just like it says, the design process can be very expensive if you have to build your model before you find out, is it working or is it not? It can mean wasting hundreds of millions of dollars. So we are able to design an entire system and simulate it on the computer and then iterate on the design to make sure it's going to work. At least you have a 90% confidence it's going to work in the real life. So for example, now this is a model of the robotic arm, you're going to be seeing later. So now I have what I have here is a 3D representation of a physical model that we're going to have later on. So everything about the assembly, because this is an entire assembly, how the joints hook together, how should the dimensions of every single tiny component be, all of those things have been designed and verified in the CAD environment at first. So this is an example. Another example is this. So now, the computer design process is not just to see how your model is going to look like in the real life or to verify the design. It's also a step forward in the manufacturing process. Now, the traditional manufacturing process means you have to take your stock to a lathe, mill it, subtract materials, weld, etc., etc. But modern day manufacturing process involves additive processes, what we call computer manufacturing. So that means my design doesn't just end in the design phase. It also serves as an input to the manufacturing phase. So what I have here, the same thing I can send it to the machine interprets the entire design, and then I have the model, just like I have it on my computer environment, I have it exactly like that in the physical environment. So we call that the computer-aided engineering process or computer-aided manufacturing process. So all of those things, the computer-aided process and the design process come together and they happen in a simulation or a virtual environment.
So in addition to that, I would like to confidently tell us that all the things that we are seeing on the screen are designed by staff and students at SQI College of ICT. These whole engines designed here and simulated right here at SQI College of ICT. Now, okay, you can proceed.
All right, so this is an example of you verifying your design. I'm done with this design now. It's an assembly, but I need to verify the motion of the. So this is the model of a small V8 engine. Okay, I think some of us can be conversant with that. So I'm trying to verify the motion of the piston assembly, the piston rods, the crankshaft, everything, and see, is this thing going to work? Will there be collision when I finish assembly this thing? So I don't need to get to the point where I assemble it in the real world and find out there's a problem before going back to reiterate on my design. I can figure all of those things out right from the computer-aided environment. So that's basically what we're seeing on the screen right now.
So all of this thing did not stop on the screen. I can let us know that it has already been produced. This is the one because experience writing. This exactly has been produced. I wish before we could finish, we have
Battery is not available.
It's not available. Okay. With the battery, this acts exactly like this piston engine. So from here, we can proceed to make it bigger and make a real engine out of it. So all these things are not too far to achieve, and this is how it begins. Now, for the other one that we saw on the screen earlier, it is the robotic hand. And this robotic hand was one of the projects that SQI decided to kick off. And what we want to do with this, thank you, sir. What we want to do with this is that we want engineers, doctors, to be able to control a robotic finger remotely. That is, can I be here right now? And maybe because I'm an expert in a field, I am the only one that can handle that physically, but I'm not there physically. A robotic hand here can be placed there, and whatever I am doing with those fingers, it will be responding to it. It was during the design of this thing that we realized that this arm alone, God did wonders with it. Yes. We never believed that it's that complex. Very, very complex. We have finished designing this thing before we realized that it could not turn like this. If your hand can turn like this, I want to let you know that it's a miracle. So it was just staying like this and moving like this. Then we started brainstorming. How did God make it to be able to turn like this? Just at this point. So at that point, they went back to the screen, to the design, and trying to create some kind of turning system here for it to be able to move. With the fingers as well, we have to ensure that every joint in the fingers are well represented, else we will not achieve what a finger can achieve. And at the same time, we also realize that the thumb is placed specially in arrangement with the other fingers right here. You will think your finger is like this, but it's actually like this. And if it's not like this, it will not work. That is why you could grab things easily. It will just turn. At the same time, you are back to this point. All these things we realize that they are wonders at this moment.
All right, thank you so much. So,
thank you so much.
Everything we are seeing here, they are designed and produced right. This is an idea.
This is an idea.
An assembly system.
An assembly system.
We hope that with this kind of system, we should be able to have an assembly.
We should be able to have an assembly
that will be able to put things together in a mass production. And this is just a start.
And this is just a start. After the completed this, they are going to simulate it one arm, dropping it for the other hand, assembling it. And with that, we believe we should be able to give back to so many manufacturing industries. And maybe eventually
dollars will come down.
Thank
you so much. So at this point, I want us to please arise while we look at yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Yes. Please. Hold on, man. What you want to show? Okay. Maybe when we now go around, we can. Yes. We'll end there. So, please. I have shown us two parts right there. Where we only express it on the screen. We bring the design alive in the screen. But when it's now on the screen, how do we bring it into reality? That's why we have this section for producing those robotic parts. So these are just special tools to complete the assembly. But to print the assembly, I want you to come with me, ma'am. We have right here the 3D machine. This is a model that is currently printing. This is a part of a larger model that when it's completed,
in the process, we can now assemble it to have that large model. Just like that palm that you saw right there, the fingers were printed individually. Then we introduced the some kind of string for the tendons, and then the rotors to pull the strings and the lights. That's what we have there. So to bring it alive, we make use of a machine like the 3D machine. So aside the 3D machine, we have several other CNC machines to make sure, such productions, exist. So I'm going to give it back to Daniel to introduce the CNC machines.
All right, so the point now after the CAD is that creating physical models of the things we simulated in our computer environment. And the last time I was talking about the computer-aided manufacturing that is different from the traditional manufacturing process where you have to control everything manually. So now the design I have from the CAD model there, I just basically send it to this machine, and the machine is able to interpret the design and create a physical model of that exactly. So this is called an FDM printer. So basically what it's doing is taking in a plastic stock, melting it, and fusing it on the bed into the form that I have exactly from my computer-aided design model. So that is why it's called 3D printing. You are printing an object, but then it's not in 2 dimensions. You are now printing it in 3 dimensions, the length and the height. All right. So this is an example of a finished print, and I think I need to retrieve that every single part you saw there, the black robotic arm, robotic finger, all of those things were printed right from here. So that is an imagination of the things that are possible with this, and even you can get to print things as big as the entire shape of this machine. So this is a finished product here. For example, I would like you to touch it, probably to just inspect it.
So from the screen to your fingers, man.
Exactly. So from the screen or from the computer to your fingers. So now, when we come to 3D printing, we have different technologies. In fact, we have almost about 10 different printing technologies. This is the most common one that you can see over here, which is still working. Another one is called I call this the FDM printer. FDM stands for fused deposition model. So that means it's fusing a material. Another one is what we call stereolithography. So it takes in a liquid stock and then it cures it with ultraviolet rays to create a solid object. And this is still being cured. Okay, this is perfect. So the same model you have here printed with this is the same thing printed with this. But then a careful inspection is going to show the difference between this and this. Now, because this one is layering line by line, you can probably visually see the lines on the print. So that's one of the limitations of FDM printing, visually, not functionally. The material still has its strength and material properties, but then visually you're able to see the stripes of the printing process. Now, because this is printing from a liquid material, it's able to end up having a very, very high surface finish, and that's what you can see here. If you look at this closely, you can't see any of those lines. This is still under the curing process, and then you can see the fine details of the name that you have here. You're not able to see some of those fine details here. So that's a technology that is not really very common on this side of the continent yet, but then we have that capacity and capability here to get products that have the surface finish you're expecting from regular plastics that you see around. And this doesn't just print plastics. We're able to print very strong material with composites, glass composites, carbon fiber composites, and this is even able to print things that are flexible, things like silicone that have high temperature resistance, things that are very, very rigid and can withstand high stress, etc. So we can print with a lot of different material depending on the requirements of the product.
The same machine printed this piece, HS piece. Yeah. Oh, we have another one there. Oh, yes. So this is freshly printed, okay. Okay. So as we are looking at this, we can imagine it printing phone cases, okay. So that part where we see with the phone, we can get it done here. Then we can now go ahead and put the software in the phone and put the, what we call it, the panels as well in the phone. So if we look at the hardware part right now, with maybe we are going to skip this part as we go to the electronic part, which is the final part for assembling a real robot. That will be the final part, man. So sorry about that, man. Okay. So this is the final part. Daniel, over to you quickly, please.
All right, so this is a PCB printing setup or equipment. So basically, PCB is what you see on every single kind of electronic device that you have has a PCB inside. Now, the PCB is responsible for creating the circuits, routing the wires. So now, instead of you having like hundreds of wires, because when you open a typical board like this, you have like thousands of connections inside. So instead of you having to connect thousands of wires, you get to print them on a PCB, very, very tiny wire lines. So that acts as a complete circuit. Now, what is very interesting about this, traditionally, because this is something that needs to happen at an industrial scale. When people need to make a PCB, they need to send it abroad. I will send it to a manufacturer in China. So I finish my design in Nigeria, I send it to China, wait for 2 weeks before I get it back. 2 weeks is even a very fast timeline. Wait for 2 weeks before I get it back, and then if there's an error, I have to keep reiterating that process. And that makes the design process very, very tiring. People get to give up at the point. So now we can create those PCBs that people rely on overseas manufacturers to make. We can now create them locally here using a PCB printing machine.
So everything we can see here on this particular panel is not just made in Africa, not just made in Nigeria. Mr. Shinwa Kinyola, it is made in Ibadan. All right. And we can name it Amala PCB, any name we want. But it's still made in Ibadan.
So far it's made in Ibadan, I'm very...
All right. Okay, so every other component here are meant to support this. For example, this is a power component. You don't know the size of battery to be using yet. So you use these regulators to confirm which is it 5 volt that it will be using, all the stuff. Before we now conclude to say, okay, this is the battery that should be connected to it. And then this will now be placed in one of those hardwares right there with a complete package. Then we put the software inside of it. Then we have a complete system handed over to you. Thank you so much, man. Okay. So, can you just mention the names of these as we walk through?
This one I use in the development process, while you are still trying to design your circuit. So this is an analog oscilloscope. An oscilloscope just helps us to see what is happening inside the circuit. Now, current and voltage are not things we can see physically, but then with the oscilloscope, you're able to visualize what is happening in those things. This is a digital oscilloscope. It's just the same thing as that, but this is a digital version with an LCD display. This is a DC bench power supply. Again, it's used during the development process of designing these circuits. And this is used when we are building battery packs. This is a spot welder, so we can use this to create lithium-ion battery packs. The same lithium-ion cells that power the electric vehicles, those lithium-ion cells, we're able to assemble them with a smaller version of the spot welder over here. So I think that's all on the electronic side.
Okay, so I would like us to know that with everything we've seen here, we have several CNC machines, laser machine, and cutters, right? CNC routers that helps to cut big, what do we call it? Body parts, robotic parts that will be arriving in addition to all of this. About 3 major large machines that will be arriving within the next 2 or 3 weeks right here in Ibadan. And when that arrives, we are going to make a video of it and send it to us. So we come to the end of the tour. Yes, sir. Okay. So, all right. As we return. Okay. So Daniel, come around of this.
All right, so the last time I was talking about how does intelligence on something like an electric vehicle or an autonomous vehicle work. So it sees an image of a street like this, but it needs to determine who is human, who is cow, who is chicken, etc. So now I'm sending this to the software in the mind or in the brain of such an electric vehicle or autonomous vehicle, and now it's able to interpret every single pixel on this and identify who is human, who is a car, and that is the result you can see over here. So now it's able to identify that this person over here, everything in this region is a human. Everything over here is a vehicle, and that is the result of the color coding. So this is just the visualization of what's going on in the mind.
All right, please, let's get back to our seats. And in a few moments, we'll be done with the event. Please, let's get back to our seats. Please welcome back from the tour. Let's quickly get back to our seats. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Please, let's get back to our seats before we will be finalizing the event now. All right, let's get back to the event since we had the tour. Before the director will come in, if you have a question or a comment that you would like to make, anyone with a question or a comment, an observation that you probably want to tell us about SQI, or you want to make an inquiry, the floor is open now. I'm asked to take the comments, the questions, and those who have any inquiry whatsoever that you would like to make concerning SQI. So you have the floor now. Maybe you want to ask a question, or you want to make a comment, or you have an observation, or there's something you saw there at the tour that you do not understand and you're wondering if you could get any answer to your inquiry. Just let me know, maybe by a wave of hand. I'll just pass the microphone to you. The floor is open. So shall we have that? If you have any question, any comment, if you have any inquiry about the robotics center, about SQI ICT centers, or anything concerning this event or this organization, you are free to do that right now. I don't know whether I am correct. I'm told that we're going to be live on some digital platforms. So yeah, so we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, the director told me that yesterday, that we'll be live on Facebook. So we're waving to those who are joining us on the digital platform and saying thank you for joining us on Facebook. Thank you for being there with us on YouTube. Make comments. We'd like to read your comments afterwards. Make comments about SQI, make inquiries, ask questions, whatever you want to know about this organization. You will definitely get answers to your questions and queries about this organization, SQI. So, yes, you have a question? Yes, please, let's have your question. So we're taking a few questions at this time before we go to the next item. Yes?
Okay, so my question will be, what kind of persons should use the facilities here? What kind of persons should come in and use the facilities?
I like the question because when you look at the things that are there, they look like magic. They look like something that old people like me cannot know. When you look at the way the wires are connected, and the young man was saying that a printer can print plastic. How? I mean, like how? And he said he can use water to also print a physical plastic. Here in our Ibadantia, So I'm sure the director can tell us who can come here and learn. Is it for, or maybe Mr. Adebayo, the man that took us in tour can tell us. Yes, yeah. Where is that? The Daniel. Where is he? Please help me find Mr. Daniel. He should come. Do I need to have a first degree in computer science before I can come? Or is it for... Mr. Daniel, he talked about something yesterday. He said that our children, they have that skill, natural innate skill to want to dismantle, electronics as a young person and want to know what is there. And many of you did the same thing too. You want to know whether the man who is speaking radio is living inside the radio. So we'll dismantle it and then we'll pack it there for him. Tell us.
All right, so I'm going to start from where we stopped. Like almost everybody, every young person has that innate skill or curiosity to make things. So who is able to take up these programs? Actually, as long as you have the interest, the age difference or the age requirements are not really strict. It can be that you are a graduate from a university, it can be that you are a secondary school leaver, it can also be that it it's a kid that is just finishing primary school. So what we do is we have different programs for different levels or categories of ages. In fact, what we've done in the past is we had a boot camp for school leavers, not school leavers, like young, I've forgotten what they call their names. But just people in the category, summer school training for people in the primary school level. So we have programs that are specialized for them. We have programs that are designed for people that are a little bit more advanced, and we have programs that are designed for people that already have experience at the university training.
Thank you. Please, can we a round of applause for Mr. David there? You see, what he's saying to us is that shoe get size. You can always find your size at SQI. Whether you are old, whether you are young, whether you are a teenager, whether you are like me, you can be part of this training. They have different training for different persons. So, sir, I think you have a question or something.
Mine is not a question. I just want to say I will appreciate if you can reach out to some of us that are into designing. We design, we assemble. For example, what I saw there, somebody like, is it Matronics? Matronics is there. You see, if we want to design, I only wish some of that small circuit that was displayed, I wish you first do it on breadboard so that they will see how copious the wire will look like. And then when you now put it on the PC, how it simplifies it. So reach out to us so that we will patronize, because we have a lot of things that we do, and by the time we finish our design, we use our manual way of using Vero board. We use normal Vero board. After doing a necessary layout, after doing the layout, we now begin to assemble manually, which a work that was supposed to have been done within just few days. Within a few minutes, we will spend days on it. Kudos to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you for that observation. I don't know whether you saw the machine that Dr. Denito first showed us. It was on the screen. It was like an engine. It was like an engine. When I saw that machine, it reminded me of what you were saying about how you wanted to create something that can wash things in a very hot temperature. That's a machine that can probably just do that for you. So I think there should be an handshake between this school and designers and those who are manufacturing, machine. It will be an explosion of intellect and advancement here. You have something to say to us more? Yes, please.
In response to his question, so what we're actually doing is we are not constraining this equipment just for our use or for our students. What we are doing is we are opening up a manufacturing service available to every single creator in Nigeria. So if you are a student at university, you are a professional who is already working on all of these fields, you can access our manufacturing service online very soon. So very soon that will be available for everybody in Nigeria to access. The logistics is going to be covered, so that it's going to be very, very easy if you are very far away to be able to send your design down here, and then we'll get it back to you wherever you are.
You see, this is happening in Ibadan. It's not at Lekki in Lagos. Is here in Ibadan. You see, I'm happy that it's happening right here. You see, we need to move away from the traditional way of doing things, like traditional way of farming, that when you finish before you plant your maize, I'm sure they can do a machine that will help you plant this maize very quickly, rather than bending backward. And I saw a farm, that they use drone to supervise the farm. You imagine the extent of that farm. They needed drones to supervise the farm and see what is happening on the farm. And the farmer was wearing a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, and he was looking at his laptop, and he was monitoring his farm with a drone. So we can do that here. I'm sure. I saw something there that looks like a drone too. Yeah. Abisa. Me too. I'm waking up now. And they wake up small. All right, so I want to welcome some people in our midst quickly, and just told that we have the principal of Orita Mefa Baptist Model School, Ring Road Branch, Deacon Dayo Abanowa. Well, thank you for coming. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We are happy to have you here. I'm also told that a man who is doing very well is a CEO and co-founder at Land Republic Limited, That's a fast-growing real. Is gone. Okay, I'm told that he's gone. All right. So he was here earlier, and we thank him for coming to this event. So we will just go ahead and do another thing that is on the lineup of the program this day. Is my namesake Laurel here? Is he here now? Oh, good. So we're going to recognize and unveil the face of SQI 2024, and I'll call Mercy Ajibade to do us the honors of unveiling that face. I'm sure you don't know who that is, but please keep clapping for Mercy as she steps forward this morning.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you so much, everyone. It's so nice to have you. Thank you so much for your patience since morning. I would like you to look at the people beside you and compliment them. I see that we've been like uptight since morning. Everybody's just frowning face. So compliment the other person beside you. Smile at the other person. Compliment them. Talk to them. What's your name? It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you. You look good. You look beautiful. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. In the next few minutes, we'll be unveiling the face of SQI. If you're in Ibadan, say I. All right. If you've seen Omitutun buses, I mean the initiative by Governor Oluseyi Makinde, and you've seen something like the face of SQI with the face of a very handsome man on that bus, say I. Oh, small now. No, think about it again. Think about it very well. I'm sure you must have forgotten. You must have seen these Omitutun buses with the face of Laurel. Say I. All right, thank you. So now we'll be unveiling him. But before we do that, I would like to read his bio. Abiodun Oluwaseun, also known as Laurel, is recognized by Wikipedia as one of the notable alumni of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, Lautech, where he served. The Yoruba will say, Aisha Meye Bolapo. So we are just coming. Yes, so where he served as the Student Union President of the institution and graduated with a second-class upper honors, BTech, Animal Production, and Health. Laurel loves leadership and service to humanity that he volunteered and served as the Director of Mobilization of Libra Movement Lautech. And he was honored with a Lifetime Award of Life Honorary Member of Libra, of the Libra Advocacy for Youth Development of Nigeria. As Student Union President, his administration saw to the reduction of the proposed Lautech tuition fee from 250,000/300,000 to 140,000/170,000, and a subsequent push for an additional 25% reduction on the current fee to 115,000/127,500 for indigenous and non-indigenous students of the institution. Laurel led the delegate of students leaders that supported the Oyo State Government Committee on Ownership to take sole ownership of Lautech, after which he became the first Lautech SUG president to produce 2 principal executive officers at the National Association of Nigerian Student Joint Campus Committee of Oyo State. Laurel's penchant for tackling immoralities and vices within the students, the university community, and the youth in general spurred him to reinitiate the Lautech Drug-Free Club, which has metamorphosed as the parent club for various other tertiary institutions in Nigeria. The popular Laurel stand in Lautech is credited to his administration for the innovation and solution the project gave to the old students and fresh students who stands under the sun before writing their examination. Laurel was named, awarded, and celebrated as the most active and student-oriented student union president in Nigeria by the National Universities Merit Award in 2018 and 2019. He was appointed as a Special Assistant SA on project delivery to the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde. On the 18th of November 2021, to help the governor to monitor and deliver projects in the quest for accelerated development and sustainable development for the good people of Oyo State. His impact and activities has fetched him one of the 2022 Junior Chambers International 10 Most Outstanding Young Persons of Nigeria and other several humanitarian awards from notable organizations. and on the 27th of October 2023, he was elevated as Senior Special Assistant, SSA, on project delivery to the Executive Governor of Oyo State. Laurel is a Christian and holds a basic certificate course and leadership certificate course from the Word of Faith Bible Institute in August 2016 and September 2020. He's vibrant, intelligent, optimistic, committed, passionate about the development of Nigeria and Africa. He's an advocate of good governance, effective leadership, and quality education. Men and women, distinguished men and women, please let's make welcome Abiodun Oluwaseun Laurel, the face of SQI 2024. We can do better. Don't stop clapping. We can do better. Thank you. Please don't stop clapping until we reach here. We can do better.
Thank you very much. Please, we can have our seats. Let me ask for forgiveness. I was supposed to be here 8 a.m. this morning, but I had to rush down to Osun State to defend the project before coming back immediately to meet up with this program. So I want to tender my apology for coming late. I hope my apology is being accepted. Thank you very much. It is an honor to be part of something great. What I mean by something great is, when I was coming, I saw a billboard. It is only the people who want to live forever that has a biography. So in my mind, I was thinking, okay, but I think it is only the people who want to live forever that makes impact. I think that's what they should have written. I know they are trying to sell their markets, advertisements. But impact has so many ways, diverse forms by which it comes. And one of it is impacting the lives of younger people. The way our country is going now, we all know what is happening. The economic situation of the country is bad. But there is hope for tomorrow, and the hope for tomorrow is the youth. So if we as youths are not living up to expectations, then if the older generation did not live up to expectation, we as youth should try as much as possible to live up to expectation. And now, some of the older generations are doing stuff that will help the youth achieve living up to this expectation. And one of these older generations happens to be an organization like SQI. So when the opportunity came calling to be part of this, I didn't think twice because it is an opportunity for me to make impact. And that is what I live for. Oyo State won the most outstanding state in ICT last year. The most ICT compliant state last year and upper year. So now, if our state is able to do that, it means efforts from private organizations and different organizations like this is what culminated in that result. And we want to be the pace setter. We have to continue to win every time. So when I see organizations coming up with stuff like this to help the younger one, which will promote the image of the state, the image of the government, and will also better the lives of other people, I will always be ready to be part of it. So once again, I want to say a big thank you to SQI and to all the stakeholders involved, the students, the staffs, and our prospective students that will come, because now that I'm here, we have to take over. It is by force. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause again for the face of SQI. The face of SQI. Our face, please, prepare to sponsor some people here. Think about that. You can start. You will just start, and then they will bring the bigger one. Please, a round of applause for him for that promise. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for that. Quickly, because we planned that this event will end in 2 hours, and so we're trying to keep to time as much as we can. Let me quickly welcome very warmly and specially someone very special to SQI family. He and his wife are here at this time. Mr. and Mrs. Jesu Damilari Adeshegun David, JDI, CEO, Innovates Lab. Welcome, sir. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for coming. I could see the energy in the room, you know. Thank you so much. We love you and we appreciate you. I'm also asked to welcome very warmly Mrs. Makinde into our Miss Mama Aboma. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. We appreciate. That's a question I was expecting people to ask since we started. I mean, you should know what kind of programs run in SQI. How can you be admitted into the school? I just mentioned one way, that by writing JAM, you can be part of the school, but are there other ways by which you can join? Do they charge in dollars, pounds, yen, or naira? You know, this kind of a thing looks very expensive to me, you know, but they will tell us. So I would like to invite Mr. Oluwaseyi Odekomaya to tell us about the admissions processes of SQI, the branches that we have, and different kinds of programs.
Good afternoon, everyone. Incredibly honored to be here amongst very great people. So very quickly, I'm just going to talk about the programs that we offer here at SQI College of ICT. So we offer 2 major programs, and I want you to pay attention. There is the program that we call NID. NID is National Innovation Diploma. And that was what Mr. Sheun was talking about earlier. For you to be admitted, and admission is currently ongoing, so if you have family members, if you have brothers, they've just written JAM, it will be great for them to start with. And the course is often for 2 years. They can either come to study computer software engineering, or they come to study computer hardware engineering, although there are different areas of specializations in it. But for you to be admitted, you need to have written your JAM, and you need to have your O-levels, so English, mathematics, and any other 3 subjects, and a minimum of 120. However, let's say peradventure the person is yet to write their UTME, all they need to do is still enroll, and once they enroll, they need to ensure that they write their UTME before they complete the course, and that way their certificate is going to be legitimate. And the only reason why we are able to offer this is because SQI College of ICT is accredited by MBTE to offer such courses. I think they deserve a round of applause for that. All right. So the second program that SQI College of ICT offers is what we call PDC. It's called the Professional Diploma, and is usually a short course, most times from 2 months to 12 months. So you can have people who want to come in for digital literacy, people that want to come in for artificial intelligence, robotics, like we are launching today, people that want to come in for data science, data analysis, software engineering, hardware engineering, networking, cyber security, almost any ICT course that you can think of. They can come in here and then they register for the professional course. That does not require them to take JAM or to have O-levels or anything like that. And it's open to almost all ages. Well, almost all ages, like I said. We have a course that caters for people that are 10 and below. But from 10 and above, anybody is welcome to take the professional diploma. Like I mentioned earlier, the NID degree, for some of us that are not so familiar with it, is similar to the ND that people do at polytechnics. So that means that once they are done with their ND, they can proceed further to say they want to continue and proceed for HND, or they can get a bachelor's degree with this particular degree that they get from SQI College of ICT. But most of the trends that we see most times is that our students, once they are done, most of them take a year and then they take 2 years. They just prefer to, work remotely while they continue their academic journey. So finally, the last thing that I'd like to talk about, very, very important as well, is just to list the campuses that we have available. So a new campus is launching today, the Challenge Campus. So that's number 1. Thank you. However, we have other campuses in different parts of the world. We have a campus at Ogbomosho, which is our main campus, also in Oyo State. We have a campus around Iwo Road. We have a campus around Dugbe. It's called the Dugbe campus. And we have a campus in Ogun State as well, which is in Abeokuta. And we are looking to launch many more to cover the globe and to cover Africa as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheyi Adekomoya. Ibadan to the world. Yes, we are reaching. Please go and conquer Lagos as well. Tell them that now we be the mama and the baba. We are going to conquer Lagos as well. Yes. SQI will also be in Lagos. I'm very sure of that. Thank you so much. Quickly, I'm told that we have a goodwill message in the offing. Quickly, before I bring in the director to come give us the final message. Please, let's make welcome Chief Mrs. Aderonke Aremu for a goodwill message. A warm applause for Mrs. Aderonke Aremu as she's going to have a goodwill message for us here. Erama.
Thank you very much. I feel highly honored and delighted to be here. My name is Mrs. Aremu, as I've been called, Ni Aderito. So I'm standing here on behalf of the Aderito family. Dr. Yemi is my cousin. We are first cousins. And I've been asked to come here to see how things are going. And I'm so happy, I'm so proud to have him as a brother. Please let me give him another round of applause. I've been talking to my husband, who is an engineer, that he should come and talk. But what he told me is that I'm a wife to an engineer. I'm a mother to 2 engineers that even graduated with first class. So, and I am a mother to an architect that graduated with a first class. So I should be proud to come and talk in a place like this. To encourage the youth, to encourage anybody, and to even encourage mothers like me. I can only wish the center goodies. The MC have said SQI is going to Lagos, and I'm attaching my faith to him, to his, that we go higher than Lagos. So on behalf of the family, on behalf of the Aderintos, I want to thank everybody here today. The Honorable Commissioner had left, the Special Advisor, I think he had left too. All special guests here, thank you all for coming. I know it's not a vote of thanks, but because I'm standing on behalf of the family, I think I can still thank you. And I pray that SQI will go places. And when they are mentioning people that are changing Nigeria for good, the name of the company will be mentioned. The name of the Aderitos will be mentioned. So once again, I greet everybody. I wish SQI the best. I've seen wonders today. I can see robotic engineering face to face. Live, my brother. So I saw it live. Thank everybody once again for coming on behalf of the family, and I wish you all the best in all your endeavors. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Blessed is your womb, man, for producing first class. 3 or more. I tap into that anointing. Yes, so I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. I'm tapping it, I'm rubbing this microphone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for producing first class. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Before I call the director, I want to thank someone very specially. And I want to thank her because she made my job very easy. She made it seamless. You will always know someone who understands what you do by the kind of things they do for you to enhance your job. I saw her come here to talk, and I knew immediately that she's also a compere. And I was wondering, why didn't she be the compere, really? But please put your hands together and appreciate Mercy Ajibade for me. Appreciate her for me. You know why? Thank you very much. You know why? We've been talking on phone, when I spoke with Oga said, my team will take it up from here. All right, I was expecting, and she began to give me the details of the event, the names of people, and since I've been here, she's been sending me messages on who to introduce, their designation, a brief, and made it very easy. So if you hear me talk here and I'm mentioning people's name, I'm doing these things, she is the engine. And she was the engine that made that happen. So thank you, Mercy Ajibade, for that. She did a very great job. And so let me invite the director of SQI and ICT consultants, Dr. Adeyemi Aderito, for the final and the closing message and remarks. Please, a round of applause for him. Jam those hands together and make him welcome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, once again, thank you, everyone, for your rapt attention throughout the moment of this program. In the absence of the dignitaries, we also want to appreciate their coming around. Like I said at the beginning of the program, that I'm excited that we are not doing this alone today. We are doing it together with so many other persons. So as we move closer to the end of the program, I just want to share a few thoughts with us, okay, before we now close the program. Meanwhile, I would like to once again acknowledge the presence of Mr. Jesu Damelare. These are the great hands that has been really helping to push the continent, not just the nation, the continent forward. And I can assure you that in a few years from now, you are going to see the impact of what hands like these are doing for the continent. Thank you for coming around, sir. God bless you, sir. All right. When Daniel Adejumo was speaking, he said something about the components, the stakeholders required to change the landscape in Nigeria when it comes to technological invention. And he mentioned 3 stakeholders. He mentioned those who will make the invention by themselves. And what is missing for those kind of people, he said, is skills. He talked about the manufacturing environment that will be required to make such happen. And he also mentioned about funding, all right, that will make such happen. In my talk this afternoon, I will be adding just 2 to it, which is the business environment and the political environment as well. I am very sure that by now, we all understand now, if we do not know before, that none of us can stand alone. No one here, whatever you are doing, there is nothing you can do alone, all by yourself. Thank God for the issue of dollar. It taught us a lot of lessons. A lot of lessons. One of those lessons it taught me was when they said dollar rise. Dollar is rising, and then even the pepper in the market is also rising. So I was asking, what is the relationship between dollar and pepper? Are we also buying these ones with dollars? Then from that time, I understood that everything and everyone are connected. So if one goes up, the other goes up with it. And if anyone comes down, other comes down with it. The same way it means if we lose more of our companies today and we have to import whatever the companies are producing, then we can be very sure that we will all cry more about the state of dollar and every other thing. And the same way, if we have more companies coming up today that produces what we ought to have been importing, then we are going to have to smile about what we will experience with dollar as well, even though we are not the ones that set up those companies. Now, SQI with what we are setting up here, I would like us to know that we are only taking 2 parts of all the 5 parts that are necessary to transform the technological space and manufacturing space of Nigeria. We are facing and dealing with the skills and the manufacturing environment. But that is not enough. Somebody say that is not enough. That is not enough in that we need you. Every one of us right here. We need every one of us. So by the time SQI is producing those innovators, they have the great skills, They have learned from a great environment. Nothing is missing. It's no longer about theory alone, but they have the ability to bring it to life. We will need people in businesses. We will need investors to assist these categories of people that have acquired the skills to be able to make companies that can go into manufacturing technological device possible. That is where the side of funding comes in. From there, we will also need business professionals. Even if we have companies that produces technological devices, I think that company will still need another company to help it distribute it. Isn't that correct? That company will still need another company to take it out of the nation to other parts of the world. So this cannot be done by just one person. We need business professionals as well to be able to help make this thing louder, go to the ends of the world as we believe we begin to exist from now on. And finally, of course, what do you do when your landlord says no? Is there anything you can do? When your landlord says lock the door, that's the new policy. Our landlord in Nigeria right now is the government. When government policy says no, no, then it is a no, no. You can't do anything. And when the government says yes, then it's a yes. You have a lot to do. We still have a representative of the government right here today, the senior special advisor to the governor on project matters. And when I say project matters, I want to believe you understand what I'm talking about. A lot of projects will be coming out from here. A lot of innovators that will bring about projects, will be coming out from here. From the short speech of the special advisor, I am excited to know that we are not at the point to be pleading with the government to support this. The government is already in support. And with that, we want to say thank you for the great job you are doing. Still in the side of the government, I want to use this opportunity to just share an appreciation for the current Oyo State government. I would like you to know that even though SQI started in 2008, we contemplated on shutting everything down in 2015 because of various government policies. Non-payment of salaries, parents that are interested could not afford the training. It wasn't just right. Then when it was in 2019, and we had a little hope, I would say that was the first time I was voting, a little hope, then we ensured we went all out to ensure that we do not miss it this time again. The lights came back on in that year, 2019. The lights came back on during your administration. So at that time, the fear of insecurity. What do you do with insecurity? What do you do? When you are afraid to come here, travel down here for a program like this, will you come? Nothing happens with insecurity. But when the administration came in, we realized that there is a plan to make sure the state is secure. So for this to happen today, I want to let this administration know that it is not just by itself, but due to their indirect support as well. So once again, thank you so much for all you've been doing. For every business professionals, we say thank you to you all. For every future investors that will help the innovators to be able to mass produce the innovations that will be birthed out of this place, we are saying thank you to you ahead. To every great staff of SQI that has been helping this dream to become a reality, want to say thank you to each and every one of you. And finally, to everyone, totally, even if I do not remember your name, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Please, a round of applause again for the director. And thank you so much. I mean, that's the end of the program. Shall we all rise? and sing the national anthem. We didn't sing it at the beginning, but we can just sing the national anthem and then the school anthem as we close. Yes. So, are you playing it for us? Okay. Is anybody playing it for us, or we are going to sing it? National anthem. Okay, let's sing it. 1, 2, go. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our father's land with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Shall we take the school anthem?
All right, thank you very kindly. We have one anthem that encapsulates our vision and mission statement. I'd like to read it out to us first before we hum along, despite the fact that we might not know it, all of us, and the people that knows it, we sing. The lyric says, time, we do not have it all the time, so we cherish every moment and give it all our best. Team, we cannot do it all alone. We believe in team spirit, giving all our best, and time. And mind, this is the greatest invention of all time, invented by the creator to make us co-creator. And tech, this is our goal for Africa. For so long we've been receiving, but it's time, and now we shall give back to the world. Is that not powerful? Can we celebrate the composer? All right, thank you very kindly. Are we ready, media? Should I go on? All right, then, while they are getting that done. So, my people, are we ready? Let's sing 3, okay. All the time, so we cherish every moment and give it all our best and team. We cannot do it all alone. We believe in team spirit, working together and mind. This is the greatest for time, invented by the creator to make us co-creator tech. This is our goal for Africa. For so long we've been receiving, it's time and we shall give to the world. Then we have this slogan, making Africa a tech continent. Making Africa a tech continent. Making Africa a pool of tech talent. Applaud to God Almighty. Thank you very kindly. And thus we have come to the end of the event. Thank you very kindly, everybody, for showing. Thank you. Adelebare, Arenakore, Akoyaibi. Thank you very kindly.